Croft is our dual-wielding pistol, highly intelligent and sometimes sarcastic British archaeologist who ventures into ancient tombs to uncover the mysteries of the old world.
You like that?
I do. I'll take 2.
Commonly known as being the protagonist of the Tomb Raider franchise, Lara has now been a part of a total of 17 video games, 3 films, and unfortunately to some, it has not stopped there, as our female hero is being rewritten into a new television show written by none other than Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Now, you may be asking, why is it such a bad thing that this female character is constantly being rebranded and slowly losing her original appeal? Well, it's exactly that. Lara Croft started off in 1996, and she was a refreshingly new video game character that could appeal to the many and not the few. She brought something new to the table and created mass appeal, and hey, maybe it was due to the fact that she was a female character, who by the way was designed in a sexually exploitive manner to entertain the male audience that was typically associated with playing video games at the time. Or maybe it was because the gamers simply loved the idea of exploring and raiding ancient tombs.
Alistair, meet Tuanak. She's a lovely pre-Incan civilization, currently in ruins.
Delighted.
Yet, as time has gone on, Lara Croft's origin story has changed. Firstly, Lara became an adventurer after being the only sole survivor of a plane crash in the Himalayas at the age of 21. She had to endure being on her own, however, once rescued, she realised she enjoyed travelling alone. She hated her British society, and thus our archaeologist was born. And yet, this changes. Quite often now. In the Legend series, a 9-year-old Lara and her mother, Amelia, both survived a plane crash in the Himalayas. Amelia goes missing, and Lara, blaming herself for her mother's disappearance, goes on the search to discover the truth, while also saving humanity from evil people messing with things they shouldn't mess with. Oh, and Lara becomes an adventurer / archaeologist in this time because her late father, Richard Croft, was also an archaeologist, who, by the way, in the original timeline was called Heshinley Croft and was very much still alive, and was also not an archaeologist. Anyway, back to the Legend timeline. Richard Croft died and his body was never found again, leaving Lara to continue her father's work. Furthermore, with the Legend trilogy, Lara discovers the truth about her mother and the death of her father. But by this point, the Tomb Raider 2001 and 2003 movies have been released, with her father dying in a completely different manner, and her mother already dead. But we don't know how she died in those movies. And also, Lara was not in a plane crash. You see where I'm going with this? And don't even get me started on the Survivor timeline. In this one, we have a young Lara Croft getting ready to expand on her growing career. And instead of her surviving a plane crash, she survives a boat crash. And hey, at least she was 21 for this crash and not 9 years old. But get this, her mother died in a plane crash when she was a child, and Lara discovered her father had killed himself. I cannot keep up with these changing stories. Can you? Also, Lara has now lost her dual pistols for a nice bow and arrow.
Get the guns. I'm gonna get the sap phone, and we'll find a way for all of us to get out of here. We need to leave now.
In the Survivor timeline, Lara goes on more adventures that are meant to shape her into her older self. Which older self that is, I have no clue. However, the series ends with Lara just ready to go on more adventures, but just deadlier than ever. But hey, at least they kept some sort of continuous plot about Lara's father being dead, am I right? Wrong! In 2018, the Tomb Raider movie was released, and this took inspiration from the 2013 Tomb Raider series, aka the Survivor timeline. Except, look, Lara's father is alive and well. Just once. However, he does end up dying, so I guess it does come full circle. Anyway, the point I am trying to make here is that Lara Croft's story has become overused and rewritten too much, She needs to be left alone, at least for a little bit to rest, but that does not seem to be happening anytime soon. The Tomb Raider 2018 movie sequel has already been cancelled. However, there are now talks of a Tomb Raider series being developed through Amazon Prime, with Phoebe Waller-Bridge producing and writing the new series.
Okay, I see the workstation over here. Can you tell me what you're currently working on?
No, of course not.
No.
And who knows, maybe Phoebe Waller-Bridge taking over part of the Tomb Raider series will be a great thing. She has become a notable figure in regards to screenwriting with shows such as Fleabag, but the question is, will she get it right? Will she do the Tomb Raider series justice? Or will it be another flop? In addition, a new animation show for Tomb Raider seems to be on the cards, along with Crystal Dynamics developing a new Tomb Raider game altogether. Luckily, it seems this game will take inspiration from the original PlayStation 1 games, and the timelines possibly being unified. But how? As I've shown, there are too many timelines with too many conflicting stories. To me, the franchise is slowly becoming doomed and losing the original magic. And don't get me wrong, the reviews and the ratings for the recent games are doing well, with the latest trilogy receiving good scores, sometimes even better than the older games. Even the latest film has done better than the original two that were released in 2001 and 2003. But it's all about the fans, and I'm including myself here. The classic origin of Lara is dying, and if you're going to reboot a series, at least don't change the story origins multiple times over. Just keep it the same and advance on. Or do side stories. Deepen on the history, the background, stick to one timeline and see it grow. Not changing the story because you think it would be better to have something new. And then realize when a game series has to come to an end. However, I'll admit, to me, the Legend trilogy was the best, as it was the closest to the original game. And to be honest, I did grow up with this series the most. I felt the magic, I felt the series captured who Lara Croft was meant to be. But still, it'll be interesting to see in years to come, especially if these new video games are meant to relate to the PlayStation 1 games in some way. It'll be interesting to see how they plan to keep rewriting Lara Croft continuously. And that is it, folks. My opinion on the ever-expanding timelines of Tomb Raider series, and how I and many others are thinking this series is losing its original charm and appeal of Lara Croft.
Don't you think you've seen enough?